It would be unacceptable for me if I not start this presentation with referring to the coronavirus and the corona pandemic. We are all limited in our daily life and we all face new challenges. And we are adapting to them. Therefore, I am proud to be part of the online conference set up by the Kazakh-American Free University and present this article that I have written with Professor Brauweiler from the University of Zwickau. This article is based on a project we developed to test the usability of micro-learning units for higher education, especially in computer science courses. To me, I'm a PhD student of KAFU in a cooperative PhD program with the University of Applied Sciences Zwickau, and I'm a scientific assistant at the chair of business administration, especially management accounting, internal audit, and finance. First of all, I will start explaining the definition of microlearning and comparing it to e-learning. Then I will refer to the student project and therefore explain the usability of microlearning in higher education and explain the new knowledge and research contribution this project will develop. As you can see, microlearning is not a light version of e-learning. It is a special aspect and reduces the 90-minute full-time lectures into small learning modules and activities of 5 to 10 minutes in length. The maximum should be 20 minutes length. And you can see that's a reduction of 78% to a normal full-time lecture. This means the difference is that the time is limited, and due to this, the learning content has to be compromised, therefore to be adapted to the new circumstances of the reduced time. This allows to put in more feedback mechanisms. This allows to retest the learned knowledge, and this allows it to connect it to mobile devices. Therefore, to combine microlearning and mobile learning. This can happen, for example, for gamification. You can learn as you go on the way in your idle times. Maybe you heard about the language app Duolingo, so you can easily learn in the bus, you can learn on your couch and improve your knowledge on a language. Furthermore, this gamification adopts the learning path of microlearning and connects it playfully and emotionally to the students. Therefore, the learned knowledge will retain longer. This also shows a study of a Dresden research team comparing microlearning, micro content to traditional full-time content. Therefore, there were more slices of content taught to the students, and they did 20% better than a control group, which were taught by standard teaching concepts. Solution approaches to this are that the microlearners had less stress due to more slices of knowledge they get presented. So it was easier for them to retrieve a big amount of information, and also they had more possibilities to get feedback. So therefore more learning questions were asked, and this strengthened the learned content a lot. A further aspect is the Ebbinghaus forgetting curve developed by the psychologist Hermann Ebbinghaus, which conducts some of the earliest investigations on memory recall or microlearning. The forgetting curve theorizes that memory retention decreases over time. It suggests that relevant information is lost through a time when there is no attempt to retain it. Therefore, after 20 minutes, when the lesson is over, already 50% of the newly learned material is gone. Microlearning focuses on this strong correlation between retention and time, uses gamification, feedback activities, also flipped classroom concepts, as information and communication technologies to provide learning incentives and provide effective review methods for the students. Also, through gamification, you emotionally bound the students to the content, and therefore they will remember it longer. Also, gamification can be used for scientific achievements. As you see here, this is a famous new game, Borderlands, which introduced Borderlands Science, which is a collaboration with the McGill University, the massively multiplayer online science, and the Microsetta initiative. The problem is that microbiomes are encoded via computers and they make mistakes. Through gamification, a puzzle was created that players can play to get achievements, to get benefits, and help scientists in correcting the mistakes of the computers. This theoretical knowledge of microlearning shall now be transferred for higher education and tested in an international student project. For our research, we found that a lot of microlearning is done through language apps, and also is not popular in higher education. As higher education face now challenges with e-learning, lacking qualifications of the teachers, lacking qualifications of the students to work with e-learning, but also in developing countries there is not enough help for the students provided to use e-learning. Therefore, this project was set up to improve the traditional learning materials and transfer them to micro-learning units. Also, to evaluate the current e-learning system. It's always good to start with is to define the problem outline, the objectives, and the approach. The problem outline is that e-learning has a lot of benefits, but also disadvantages, and micro-learning is the next evolutionary step to e-learning. Therefore, this project addresses the problems of e-learning as reduced attention, the language barrier, the problems of the translator with translating the knowledge for the students. For example, if you are a German teacher in a Kazakh university, for example, you will be dolmetched. Also, they need extensive preparation, and they're missing the possibility of learning as you go, of learning mobile, and giving therefore the students also the possibility to prepare for the lecture offline or to retest the learned knowledge. Furthermore, computer science courses a lack of practice orientation, of real problem-solving practice orientation. Therefore, the micro-learning units shall be prepared for STEM topics, which is a research gap. Furthermore, the use of web-based micro-learning in higher education isn't researched that much, and therefore a teaching concept, also the teaching concept of micro content in higher education isn't researched in a practice-oriented context. The objective therefore is to provide additional practice-oriented research and transfer this through a student project to test the usability of web-based micro-learning units in higher education, as this shall be done through the development of an international hardware-software student project with students, with Kazakh students of business informatics and Kyrgyz and BHZ students of computer science. After this project is set up, there will be developed a summer school, and this summer school shall be designed as a joint student workshop and evaluate the micro-learning used to teach the learning content. As research question, was defined what is the value of micro-learning units for higher education, and also how can they enhance the practice orientation in computer science courses. The real problem the computer science course will face is to develop a early detection earthquake system as the national earthquake institutions in Kazakhstan and Kyrgyz fail or lack in providing such detection measurement systems. Therefore, they are solving a real problem and bound emotional to the content of the lecture, which will help them to retain the knowledge longer. First of all, the traditional teaching materials have to be transferred into micro-learning units. Therefore, a wide setup literature research will be part of the project and develop an analytical framework giving the project its direction towards microlearning, giving a definition of microlearning and state findings to the usability of microlearning units, especially in higher education. Next, there will be the development of the hardware-software project. Will be divided in two parts. In the first part, the students will develop the software part, and the second part, they will develop the hardware part. All this will be supported and supervised of professors and consultants from companies and consultants with a huge practical knowledge base. Then this project will be part of a lecture during a joint project workshop, which will also be a summer university. Always an important part in applying for research grant is to show the contribution of the research, is to show the contribution of the project and the new knowledge that will be provided. This can be divided into three parts. The first part is about providing practical research towards the usability of micro-learning units. As there is now existing a scarce research towards the usability of micro-learning in higher education, this project will provide additional information towards the wide setup literature research and the practical student project. Furthermore, this project can change higher education radically by establishing these new game micro-learning units in computer science classes. Therefore, it changes the way how students interact with the teacher and how students learn the learning content. Moreover, the project will enhance the practice orientation in computer science courses, as they will deal with a real problem and develop a software solution and also hardware development. Therefore, 3D glasses, drones, seismic detection systems will be part of the project. And this will enhance the skills of the students. So it will improve the education in Central Asia, US and also Europe. The students will get an interdisciplinary and transnational practice-oriented education from which they will benefit in enhancing their software engineering skills and also in enhancing their team working abilities. As the project is now in the application process, we are looking forward that it will be granted and we can start with our research and develop this highly supportive educational project from which a lot of students will benefit. Thank you for your attention.